The CEO of Crytek, Shervat Yerli, stated that the PC version of Crysis 3 will melt down your computer. As you can see, he was not lying. The only question in your mind should be, how does the gameplay compare to the glorious eye candy?
Whose face are you wearing under that helmet these days, Prophet? Do you even have a face anymore?
We all had to make a sacrifice.
The game takes place 24 years after the events of Crysis 2. You play the role of Prophet as he returns to New York City, the setting of the second game. He discovers that the city has been encased in a giant nanodome created by the corrupt Cell Corporation. It is now your job to uncover the truth behind Cell's true motives for building the quarantine nanodome, and to stop them in their quest for global domination. As you start the game, you are quickly reunited with one of your former squadmates from the past, Psycho. However, this time, he appears to be different.
Remember friendlies?
Psycho. Where's your nanosuit?
Cell skinned me.
The narrative of the Crysis series has always been very deep and compelling. It's one of those rare game stories that makes you think. We have never been handed the answers in any of the games, and Crysis 3 is certainly no different. If you're like me, you're going to be pausing the game from time to time to stop and to think about what just happened and what is going on. And you're definitely going to want to check out the game's data logs, as they offer a huge amount of backstory and fill out the already amazing narrative.
Welcome to New York. Version 2.0.
What have they done?
Being PC gamers, we all want to push our computers to the max. With Crysis 2, there was a little bit of controversy saying that the game was scaled back, even the PC version, just to run on the consoles. Crytek looked at this criticism, and this time round they have definitely not disappointed. They have pushed the PC to its limits. I would sit here and talk about how amazing this game looks, but to be honest, I think I should just shut up and let the game talk for itself. This is by far the best looking game that I have ever seen, and even though it is early in 2013, this is going to be the graphical benchmark that everyone is looking to meet for the rest of the year. So, let's move on to the most important part of any game, and that is of course the gameplay. Crysis 3 brings back the original formula that you know and love. However, there are a couple of new additions which are welcomed with open arms. The nanosuit operates the same as it did in the previous games of the series, allowing Prophet to have distinct advantages over his enemies on the battlefield. The suit switches up the generic mechanics that one would expect from your standard FPS game. You'll be able to blend in with the environment, run faster and jump higher than the Cell operatives, and finally overpower them with your brutal strength and armor. Early on in the game, you acquire a new weapon in the form of a bow.
A bow?
Yeah, makes you an invisible, silent killing machine. Serious kit this. You like it?
No.
Now this bow is going to make you think twice about the way in which you played Crysis, and in the way that you are going to approach warfare in Crysis 3. This mighty weapon will take down almost any enemy in one single shot, and it can be used without breaking stealth. However, be careful to use this sparingly, as you only have a limited number of arrows. The inclusion of this bow made me feel like I always had a choice in the way in which I played out a level. I could simply just run in all guns blazing, or I could take the unnoticed approach. So seeing as I'm pretty bad at FPS games, I decided to stealth as much as possible on my playthrough of Crysis 3. I found that even though it's not viable 100% of the time, it has a huge impact on the way that the game can be played, and I feel that this is a massive step up from Crysis 2. Also, it feels insanely refreshing to be able to move around in plain sight in comparison to the other shooting games on the market, which all rehash the same gameplay over and over again. The fun in Crysis 3 extends much further than just that of its single player. The title offers a fully fleshed out online multiplayer that spans across 12 maps and 8 game modes. The newest asset to the multiplayer is Hunter Mode. This match type starts with 2 players, the Hunters, who wear the enhanced nanosuit, and they are permanently cloaked. Their weapon of choice is the bow, and their mission is to hunt the other players, who are the Troopers. When one of the 2 Hunters manage to find and kill another player, that killed player then joins the side with the Hunters.
You are now a hunter.
Eventually, the hunters are going to grow in numbers until there's only one trooper left fighting for his life. Now, with my time in the Crysis multiplayer, I came to the conclusion that the Hunter mode is by far the best game mode, in my opinion, in this game, just because it is so original and there is no comparison in any other game. The feeling that you get when you are the last trooper alive and you watch that clock count down to 0 is just insane, and it's super intense. Crysis 3 takes what was right from Crysis 1 and 2 and blends them together in a PC masterpiece. This stands out from the recent FPS games that have been brought to the market. The single-player campaign merges an immersed narrative with an action-packed, well-paced, fun gameplay experience, while the multiplayer gives you the dose of the longevity that we have all come to expect and know from games in this genre. If you're looking for the next big shooter, or just something to change your yearly fix of Call of Duty, then this game is definitely for you. Head to www.kingwin.net to pick it up for the cheap price of just €35. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to keep up to date with our future coverage of upcoming games such as Tomb Raider, StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, SimCity and BioShock Infinite.